again, talk about your experience with teachers and why you're the pledge and why you were so ready to sign it and what it means, please.
Schools and teachers saved my life. When it comes down to it, a teacher realized what was going on in my home life and spoke up. And because of that, yes, I was taken into foster care, but I was afforded the opportunity to grow into the person I am today. And that really helps me understand the situation that a lot of kids go through at school. And they need teachers in so many ways. And teachers are the first line of defense. So they're undervalued and underpaid. And we need to start, we really need to change that.
So one of the things that we made a special point of on our pledge is to say that, you know, we want politicians who will support the teachers, who are doing the good work, who are experts in their field, who can make the choices about what's in their classrooms, not necessarily other people's parents. You know, and we made a special point on there that we want, a lot of times I see, you know, maybe some politicians will say, you know, of course I represent everyone. I represent everyone. I represent all of them. And I'm just interested to see right now, when I add the line in particular, our minority communities and our LGBTQ communities. As a parent of an LGBTQ child, multiple actually, what you're saying is critical to me, because I feel like when I leave these kids and they get off the bus and they head into school, I have to know in my heart that they're safe.
I'm totally on board with that. And look, at the end of the day, we do trust in our teachers to do the right things. And if the teacher is doing the job well, and if we have effective teachers and we start treating teachers in a better way, they'll be able to focus on these things. Where it's not necessarily, sometimes they're outing or they're afraid to out their students to their parents because these kids confided in these teachers. Teachers doing a good job, then they're able to communicate with the parents effectively while protecting all the relationships around them. So, and I think that's important.
And you had mentioned that in your life, you had a special teacher who helped you out, or you had said that in an earlier video. You know, can you tell me a little more about that?
It was my music teacher. She realized things were off with me mentally, that I wasn't happy. So she kept an eye and ear out as much as possible and figured out that there was some stuff going awry.
Yeah.
She would work with the guidance counselors, which is a major thing we need to develop and support here everywhere, is guidance counselors that can work together to protect children all around.
Well, and I speak of it, it's funny that you said music teacher. One of my children who is so I have 7 kids and 3 of them are members of the queer community. And this one in particular is my youngest, and he is a musician, and he's 15 years old. And his dream in life is to be a music teacher. He plays the cello and the violin and the piano, and he's just, his father's a music teacher, and this is his dream. And I really look at it like, you know, with what these extremists are creating, is that a field I want my child to get into right now?
These are the types of programs that are cut more quickly because they're not seen as important. And that's further from the truth. These programs, music, art, sports, these all garner the individual's self-interests. They help them shape the people that they're going to be for the rest of their lives. And they need to be able to express themselves in that. And if we cut that out, they need to find other ways to express themselves. And unfortunately, teachers are being put on blast, and they're afraid to support the students in a way that they really do need.
I mean, that's absolutely true. It's this installation of fear by these extremists into this group of people who got into a profession because it's a calling, because they love children and they want to support them and they want to take care of them and they want to create critical thinkers. And, you know, there are suddenly roadblocks by some very unkind narrow-minded people. My next question, though, you also mentioned something that I found really interesting, is said you have been getting support from both sides. Tell me about what you mean by that statement.
We get to talk to people all day, every day, all walks of life. And when it comes down to my race, one of the things that I'm trying to do is garner the middle road relationships, the people that are willing to come to my table and have real valuable discussions, and not just hate. Because at the end, we all know it doesn't lend to improvement. And so there's a lot of Republicans and I'm running as a Democrat, that are like, I haven't crossed party lines in 40 plus years, but I'm voting for you because you want to have these discussions with all sides, Democrat, independent, Republican, and even disenfranchised people that are never involved. We need everybody at the table. And I like to tell people that no relationship is unlimited. You can't just assume that you're going to get everything that you want when you want it. And when you have that mindset, you're destined to fail. And so I have Republicans because I'm a gun owner. I was from a state that virtually has no gun regulations. And it works because we garner education, safety, mature, willing to lock up their weapons, et cetera, et cetera. That was instilled in us in a young age. And when we moved to Florida, it felt like the wild, wild west. And parents don't take the time to do that. And you can't assume that they do. And so that's why we have a lot of these problems. And so we really need to work with the parents and teachers and guidance counselors. And even the Republicans are on board with that.
I love that. Like what you were saying, I love hearing that, because I was raised by a very old school conservative Republican, very good man. He would read the Wall Street Journal front to back every day. He literally didn't have a TV. And I miss those conversations that I would have with somebody who respected me and who heard me out, and then I could respect him and have this conversation. So when I was very clear that we don't endorse, Defensive Democracy does not endorse candidates, but we want to give candidates the tools to show who they really are to the people. And I have been very open. Like, as a matter of fact, if you talk to any Republicans who are looking for a good group to get involved in, one of our executive committee members is a Republican. He will tell you he voted for the first time in 1980 for Ronald Reagan. Okay. But he's got 2 gay daughters. So he is like, where's the fight? Like, he's one of these guys. He reminds me of my dad. Like, he's like, I will roll up my sleeves. Now it's time. You're trampling on my civil rights and my kids' civil rights. And we are about freedom. So ultimately, having a politician, regardless of your party, understanding that this is about our kids. This is a common thread that draws us all together.
A lot of Republican legislators like to instill the idea that Democratic individuals or legislators don't want to, they want to take our guns. They want to make it easier for people to get weapons. And it's like, absolutely not. But we don't want the kids to feel like they're entering a jail every day. So how do we come to the table? How do we harden our schools without affecting our children and teachers in a negative way? Because they need to be happy going into school. Otherwise, what are they going to get out of it? Other than feeling insecure.
So on Defensive Democracy, we have, our mission statement, our statement of beliefs, and the very last one, which we took a long time considering, because there are a lot of issues out there, right? We are very hyper-focused on supporting our public schools and teachers, but, and there's, environments and are you pro-choice? Are you pro-life? Like, there's a lot of important things going on. And one of those important things is the discussion about guns. And we decided, even though that really wasn't in the main part of our project, that we were going to put that small line in there. And I literally, and we wrote it very deliberately, and it says, while it is heartbreaking for us to have to do this, we also support stricter gun laws and responsible gun ownership, which my husband just bought our first gun. So that, like, I'm kind of excited to go out and target shooting. I've never done that before. But you're right. A lot of that fear mongering and that, you know, we're trying to take something away. It's not that at all. And I will say, as a mom whose children, I'm from New York. I'm about 30 minutes from Sandy Hook. And my kids were in kindergarten when that happened. So I went through the process of having a kindergartner in school. I literally, when the shooting happened, of course, everybody lost, you know, we all jumped in our cars to get our kids. I actually got lost going from work to my kids' school. I was so upset. And that was when it changed from being able to open the door and walk in, you know, knowing the woman at the front desk could just let you in, and then having a lock at the door where you had to slide your license. And I remember the first time, I was gonna cry, when I went in after they had put that lock in, and I couldn't find my license. And it was a woman I had known for years. My daughter had just passed through the school, and she was like, yeah, Karen, I can't let you in. And I was like, thank you. Don't let me in. Don't let anybody in unless they pass this test. And I hate that. And I hate that my kids have to go in school. So I applaud your efforts in that. You know, I feel it's very sincere, and I think it's so important.
I appreciate.
Now, with you know, I'm going to end this because I know that you are busy. I know that you're campaigning today. You're out. You've got a tough crowd there. You know, you're right where Moms for Liberty started. I don't envy you, but I'm, you know, fully support what you're doing. Is there anything that you would like to leave us with, you know, to end?
Appreciate all the efforts that you folks are putting into this program, and I can to do some outreach for you as well. I've passed on the link to many people and said, basically, do this now, thank me later. I'm appreciative of this, and I appreciate all of you.
Well, this is exactly how it's going to do. We're a few days away from the election. We're going to do the best we can in these last few days. I want to wish you the best of luck, and let's stay in touch and see how things go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.